All right, we're ready to get started here. Okay, so you already took, you can go ahead and close out of your Satori for right now. But go ahead and leave your Chromebooks open because we are going to use them for something here in just a second. We are going to use a new tool today called Whiteboard FI. And if you want to go ahead and, while we're waiting on my computer, if you want to go ahead and type Whiteboard FI into your address bar, it's going to be whiteboard.fi today. It's not a .com site, it's an FI site.
Do we get to join class?
Hit join class and I'll give you the code to join in just a second as soon as I can get my whiteboard for just the two. This is a good chance while we're waiting on it. I'll tell you some things about it because when my teacher view comes up, it's going to be different. You can hit this little A and make text boxes in there so that you can actually type, or you can, oh, look at that. Or you can use the pencil and you can, that's not very good. It's like I don't know how to spell my own name. And then if you mess it all up, like you're working on something, you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted to put, clear whiteboard. Gone. Okay, go ahead and try the code. Let's see if we can just all join this one. Try the code R4B35.
Your name? Just put
first name last.
Just first name's fine. Just put your first name. You know my rule about names, no crazy nicknames or anything.
oh, I'm here.
Okay. My internet's not going to work, but hopefully it's giving. Did it let you in? And you have a whiteboard now?
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
I'm gonna use this in your Zoom class. Go ahead and hit your Zoom class and see what happens. Oh, you're joined as a teacher.
Oh,
Go
I
back and
didn't click anything, that just automatic.
it just went to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. Do you need that code again?
Yeah.
Is R4B35.
That's weird.
what is
No. Why did you join as a teacher? Now type your name and join whiteboard class. Okay, did everybody get in okay? All right, you're not gonna need that for a second, but just kind of keep that up. You can scoot your Chromebooks back away from you if you would like. We are going to start with some capitalization rules. Oh, come on. There we go. No. Sorry. There we go. All right, so we already found out what you knew about capitalization. That's what the pretest was. So if you're watching this on Google Classroom, you need to take the pretest before you do any of this. So if you have not taken the pretest yet, pause this and go take the pretest and then come back. This is going to be awkward talking to both of them at the same time, but we'll get it. Okay. Our first capitalization rule. Capitalize the first word in a sentence. Capitalize the first word in a sentence. You guys know this rule. I will tell you, reading your Satori comments yesterday, you do not follow this rule. So, I want everybody on your whiteboard right now to open a text box by clicking the A. If you click the little A, you can open a text box and draw it in there. Once you draw it in there, you can click right in there and type. So, I want you to type a sentence that starts with a capital letter. And ends with a period. Don't make it ginormous because we're going to do quite a few sentences. We saw a cat.
You have to click in the text box.
Yeah, you have to click in the text box. That work?
No.
You don't have a text box on there. Part of the problem is, hey guys, if you have one of those big, if you have your mouse set to those ridiculously big ones, yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah, if you have your mouse set to the ridiculously big one that gives you the great big arrows and the little crosshairs, change that. Go back to a regular mouse. It will help you so much. Yes?
So I typed it in and then it started glitching out and then it just kicked me out.
What is this about?
Okay.
That's my
Now you
son.
should be able to do it in class. It should take you back to us.
I'm gonna have extra credit.
Would you have them both? And buy
See,
styrofoam
I
cups?
wrote this like before.
You can go down to the bottom of their whiteboard and it'll turn it off.
But don't you need the keys?
Oh, and mine just went all the way away. That's okay. All right. That was a really easy rule, but I figured that was a good one to practice your whiteboard on the first time. The dog is furry and cute. Okay, number 2 is capitalize the name of people and their titles. Capitalize the name of people and their titles. My favorite author, Ms. Anna Windsor, is visiting. What's her title? Miss. Yeah, Miss is the title. What are some other titles that you guys hear? Mr. Coach. Doctor. Mrs.
I forgot my.
Okay. Yeah, those are all titles. President. Superintendent. Trump is not a title. That's a name. But they have to be connected to a name before you capitalize them. So for example, if I said Senator Dole said he saw the president, Senator is going to be capitalize because I connected that with the name Dole, Senator Dole, right? Do I capitalize president in that situation?
Mhm.
No, because Senator Dole said he saw the president.
Oh. Okay.
Now, if he said the president of the United States, then yes. Or if he'd said President Reagan, then yes. But just the word president, no. Because we're not talking about a specific person. We're not connecting them to a person. Because it could have been he saw the president of the US, or it could have been he saw the president of his golfing club. You know? That's not clear in that situation where it just says Senator Dole said he saw the president. We assume since he's a U.S. senator, it's the president of the United States, but it doesn't say that. Okay, capitalize a job title that comes immediately before the person's name. Okay, capitalize days, months, and holidays. I love the fall. Especially October, because Halloween is my favorite holiday. Okay, what in that sentence is a month? Okay. October. What in that sentence is a holiday?
Halloween.
Halloween. Why did I not capitalize fall?
It's a season, not like a month.
It's a season, and you don't capitalize seasons. We tend to do that, but that's a common mistake. You don't actually capitalize seasons. Spring, summer, fall. Now, if you said the spring formal, like we're having a spring dance, or the fall festival, in those cases when they're part of a title of a specific event, you capitalize them, but when you're just talking about the season in general, you do not. Capitalize languages, nationalities, such as American, Irish, Mexican, Canadian, okay? Religions, all religions are capitalized, and races. So, for example, my mother is Irish, and my father is French. They both practice Catholicism. Catholicism is a religion, capitalized. And that goes for all. Like if you say, I go to the Baptist church, you capitalize Baptist, or I go to the Methodist church, you capitalize Methodist. Whatever religion you put in there, you're going to capitalize that. Does that make sense? Okay. Mrs. Cantrell's pet peeve. Because I know that your first grade teachers taught you this. Anytime you use the word I, it must be capitalized. If the internet was working, I was going to show you just how many times in one post the word I was not capitalized on Satori. I think this morning, the one I was reading, there were 33 comments on it, and 2 people had capitalized the word I. There are many things I am planning to do after I graduate. If you want to graduate, you have to pass this class, which means you're going to start capitalizing the word I. Capitalize the names of specific places, okay? He attended Oxford University, specific place. He climbed Mount Everest, specific landform, right? It couldn't be any mountain, it's Mount Everest. Swam in the Dead Sea and scaled the Golden Gate Bridge. Now I want to show you here, it has to be specific because if I change it to, he attended college, I don't know which college he went to, so it's a little c. He climbed a mountain, little m. So you get the idea there, right? It is a specific place, not just any place that you would go to. Yes.
So if you capitalize I,
Uh-huh.
and everything, why don't we capitalize A like we do I?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, because A is an article, A, and the, so they have to have another word with them to make sense. I is a standalone word.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's pen and I.
There's an X top right.
Ah. Thank you. I'm still new to this board.
Oh.
That's all right, we can get back. There we go. Okay, and that just goes on to explain that it's anything specific monuments, bodies of water. Like if you say I go to the lake, you don't capitalize lake, but if you say I spent the weekend at Bull Shoals Lake, then you capitalize because it's a specific body of water. Same with river. If you say a river runs right through Hartville, you don't capitalize it, but if you say the Gasconade River runs right through Hartville, you capitalize it. Capitalize historical eras. I studied the Victorian era, the Renaissance and Middle Ages in my history class. Can you think of any other eras, not errors? You guys are going to study some eras this year, or you may have studied them last year. Reconstruction after the Civil War, that's an era. The Revolution, that's an era. So, westward expansion. You guys studied westward expansion, right?
Yeah.
You would capitalize that. Okay. You don't capitalize centuries, like if it was the 16th century or the 20th century, you don't capitalize that. You do capitalize names of brands, companies, and organizations. I love ordering my coffee online from the Brown Bean. You'll notice the is capitalized here. That is because it is part of that company's name. The Brown Bean is the name of the company. If I said I grabbed a coffee from the Starbucks on the way here, I wouldn't capitalize the because the is not part of Starbucks' name, right? It's like if I said I grabbed a cup of coffee from the Starbucks on the corner, it's not part of their name. You only capitalize the when it's part of their name. Went on without me, didn't it? Political divisions. Okay. What do you think political divisions mean? I'm just gonna see what you guys think. Branches, okay.
Like Democrat, Republican.
Could, like political parties, okay. I figured that's where your brains would go. That's where my brain actually went too, because we usually, political divisions actually mean cities, states, countries. Like the city of Bangkok in Thailand is the most visited city in Asia. So, Bangkok City, Thailand country, Asia continent. Those are our man-made divisions. Like people named those and decided what the borders were. So those are political divisions. And this includes continents, regions, countries, states, provinces, counties, cities, and towns. Capitalize specific course names, but not general subjects. In grade 11, I must take history, which is just the general subject, right? So you don't capitalize history there. And World Geography 101, because that's the name of the class, we capitalize World Geography. Now, if it said I must take American History and World Geography 101, then I have to capitalize both of them. Capitalize titles of written and performed pieces. My favorite play is Romeo and Juliet, and my favorite song is What a Wonderful World. So now I want everyone to write a second sentence on your whiteboard. I want you to include the word I, and your favorite song, and your favorite TV show. TV show, song. If this was working correctly, I could see everybody's responses. But it does let me save the responses, so even if you're doing this online, go ahead and type in your responses right now, because I can go back and look at these and I will email you if there's anything I want to tell you about the rule. For those of you in here with me right now, I'm just gonna walk around and read yours. Just look it over your shoulder, making sure you're using the right rules.
Is it okay if we can't spell?
It's okay.
I need to show like a movie that I don't like to watch this. I bet you show what in Hunters is gonna have more. You show me. Oh. You got the little dinosaur game?
What?
You got the little dinosaur game?
Oh man.
I used to play that for hours.
Dude, I downloaded that on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, no, why did Jimmy,
Okay. Look like we did pretty good. You wouldn't capitalize the end. Oh, the song is the in the end. Okay. Put a period into your sentence. Okay. Capitalize the first word in a sentence that is a direct quote, even if it comes in the middle of the sentence. We practiced this a lot last year, so I think you guys probably know this one. The student asked, comma, quote, capital W, when is the project due? Did you remember that one? We spent quite a bit of time focusing on that. Don't capitalize after the colon or semicolon unless the word following the colon is normally capitalized. I only have one winter downhill skiing. Downhill skiing is not a proper noun, so I'm not going to capitalize it. But there is only one country I really want to visit, Australia. Australia would be capitalized normally, so I go ahead and capitalize it. Rex loves wearing his baseball cap. It keeps the sun out of his eyes. So, notice they have a semicolon, but they do not capitalize the next letter. It just goes on. Okay, how this is going to work, we probably won't get all the way through it today, is I mentioned to you guys that we were going to have grammar escape rooms for your grammar assignments, and they're digital escape rooms. So I'm just going to start by, I want to tell you, read you this little story, and then we'll use that. A man of genius makes no mistake. His errors are volitional, and are portals of discovery. James Joyce. That's what the little envelope says there. It says, as an undercover agent working with the CIA, you and your partner have been investigating subtle but concerning discrepancies occurring within the agency. It wasn't long until you discovered something important was being concealed. Okay, so let's talk, there's a lot of language going on here, so let's go back and let's look at some things. Investigating subtle, what's that mean? Little. Not super noticeable. Subtle but concerning. Discrepancies, what are discrepancies? They could be mistakes or they could be intentional. Discrepancies are when things don't match up. Okay? It's like when something is just a little off. Like if you were balancing your checkbook and in your check, on your check you had wrote $300, but in your check register you had wrote $3,000, that would be a discrepancy because those two things should match up, but they don't. And so that's what they're discovering here. They're discovering some things that aren't matching up like they're, or lining up like they're supposed to. It wasn't long until you discovered something important was being concealed. What's that mean?
Kept away.
Kept away, hidden, covered up. When you were both called into your irate superintendent's office, what's irate mean? Mad. Yeah, like yelling, screaming, throwing things kind of mad is the picture you get with irate. So here him and his partner have discovered these, they work for the CIA, they discovered these discrepancies. They get called into the superintendent's office and the superintendent is really mad at them and said and warned, stick to your jobs by the director of the CIA herself. It was the last day you saw your partner. Yeah. You were told that he was put into witness protection and contact with him would be impossible. You didn't buy that story for 1 second. In your heart, you knew that the thread you were pulling threatened to unravel something big, and somebody high up in the ranks was afraid. You suspected that your partner was likely being wrongfully detained and that any communication attempt by him would be blocked. Additionally, all communications coming into your office and home were likely being monitored too. Okay, I think we all know what monitored, but just in case, what's monitored? Watched. So they're watching all of his communications. He knows something's off. He knows his partner's not in witness protection, but we don't know what. So, on the day you received a letter to your house from your nephew Oliver asking you to proofread his short story for school, you knew you were secretly being contacted by your partner. Given that you had no nephew, and your partner did have a nephew named Oliver, this had to be the case. Between the quote written on the inside of the envelope and the story contained within, you were sure there was a secret message to uncover. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to go ahead and share the secret message with you. You're going to get a little Google slide that has the secret message in it, and you'll have the story again if you need it. But we're going to go through, and we're going to proofread Oliver's homework, and we are going to bold or circle every word that should have been capitalized, and it's going to spell out a secret code for us. So